Welcome back, bassheads. You've tuned in to BD Audio. My name's Mitch, and on this channel, we dyno amps down under. And on today's episode, I've got a treat for you. This here is a 2001 Cheetah amp. Back in the day when they had the sound comps many years ago, they had classes that used to do off 4 ohm ratings. Now this amp has a 50 watts rating. 50 watts at 4 ohms it's rated. Now I'm going to throw up some measurements here of the size. And as you can see by the size, it's huge. For example, this is an iPad mini. Look at the size of it. Doesn't even compare. This thing is close to 1 meter long. The ratings of it though are 50 watts at 4 ohms times 1, 750 watts at 2 ohms, and 1500 watts at 1 ohm. Now if any of you guys actually know who I am, I competed in the old school SPL challenge with this amp, and I scored the highest dB of the day, which from memory, I believe it was 152.1 decibels. And that competition basically runs any amp in those 4 ohm categories up to the age of 2004. So this amp definitely classified for the smallest class. So what I thought, you know what, I'll make a quite special announcement for it, and I'm going to put it on the amp dyno. It is one of my favorite amps of my collection, but I thought I might risk it and put it on the dyno and see what kind of power it actually makes. It does only have 8 gauge terminals, but I've wired up with the 0 gauge just to try and squeeze out as much power as possible. So let's strap it up and see what we can do. Alright bassheads, I've got the Z7000 hooked up to the dyno, wired at 4 ohms. We're going to do 2 tests. We're going to do uncertified, which is up to clipping, and then we're going to be doing dynamic full send. 40 hertz, here we go, rated 550 watts. $315 watts. That's definitely not 50 watts. I can now see why they definitely call this a Cheetah amp. Because if you had to go in a class of 500 watts at a reactive load at 4 ohms, you are making a lot more than that rated power. So let's give it a full kick and let's see what it does on full send. Here we go. Wow, 482 watts. That is just insane. That's almost 10 times its rated power. 482 and it's rated at 50 watts. So I've got the Z7000 hooked up now at 2 ohms. We're rated 750 watts times 1. So let's see what it does. First one will be uncertified, up to clip. There we go, 600 watts. So it didn't quite make it 750 RMS rated, but I guarantee you that when we do the full send, it will get over that. I have no doubts with this amp. It is one of my favorites, and for a particular reason. It makes a lot of power. So here we go, we're going to go full send now. Wow, 912 watts. Again, we have made well over that rated 750 watts. Alright, on to the next one. Alright guys, got the Z7000 wired up at 1 ohms, and we're going to give it a quick run on the dyno. I am a little scared because it is one of the my favorite amps in my collection, and I'll be pushing it to its limits at that 1 ohm, but we're going to see how it goes anyway. Rated 1500 watts. First test will be uncertified up to clipping. Here we go. Alright, 971 watts. They definitely overrated the 1 ohm, but the main thing was back in the day was the 4 ohm ratings to make them a Cheetah amp. So I gathered that the bigger ratings were a little bit more of a piss take. So we'll do the dynamic now, which is a full send. Let's hope we don't hurt the amp. Here we go. Ooh, so close. 1404 watts. You know, I'm almost going to have to give it to it that it passed anyway because of the such high score on that 4 ohm rating. And if I had the chance, I'd do a half ohm test, but I just don't have that ready on my bank yet. And we are at optimal testing as well. We're at 14.4 on the bank, 0 gauge inputs. There's not much else I could give this amp to try and go anymore. But I'm still pretty proud of it, and it's going to go straight back on my wall in my collection. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you like what we do on the channel, like, subscribe, share with your friends. My name's Mitch from BD Audio. I'm tuning out. See ya.